Assassin's Creed Mirage is of course an upcoming game that will join the Assassin's Creed franchise, and in today's video we'll be going over the best things we know about Assassin's Creed Mirage. Of course at the moment information is a little bit limited, or at least, well, official information, and we'll only be focusing on the official information in this video. There has been quite a few confirmed things, but obviously we don't have any proper gameplay or anything like that, so there's not loads we can go off, but there is still a decent amount of information that we have, so we can easily put together the best things arriving with Assassin's Creed Mirage. And that is what today's video is all about. So let's waste no more time and let's get into the best things arriving with Assassin's Creed Mirage. So one of the best things that stands out with Assassin's Creed Mirage is its pretty unique setting. The Assassin's Creed Mirage setting is the 9th century Baghdad, with the time period beginning in the year 861, the Golden Age, a few decades before the events of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The AC Mirage artistic director, Jean-Luc Sala, says that at this time Baghdad was effectively at the center of the world, and a key place for knowledge, art, innovation, science, commerce, and power, as 9th century Baghdad was effectively destroyed 5 centuries later. Ubisoft looked to historical documentation and other cities of the time to recreate Baghdad with as much accuracy as possible, so Baghdad is going to be the map for Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now it seems like it isn't going to be a massive map, since after all the game is taking a bit of a different twist to things, which we'll get onto later, but overall it's going to be a more dense area. It means that, yeah, it's not going to be as big of an area, but there's going to be a lot more going on in it, which a lot of people would say is going to be a much better outcome. People would much prefer that there's going to be a smaller area, but with a massive dense area, lots to do, lots of people to see, and lots going on within smaller areas, since after all that's how Assassin's Creed started, and that's how people want it to continue, not with the current way it's been going, but like I said, I'll get more in detail on that later in the video. But either way, we do know that, you know, Assassin's Creed Mirage will be far smaller than the worlds offered up by Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Odyssey, and Origins. Baghdad itself is divided into 4 unique districts, including the industrial area and the lush gardens of the Round City. Now, Ubisoft themselves have promised that Baghdad will be a bustling and dense city, with artistic director Jean-Luc Sala noting that inhabitants react to your every single move. You'll also be able to visit the element outside of the city, which is the home to the assassins who put down the foundation for the Creed as we know it today. While it has appeared in the wider lore, this is the first time the fortress has featured in an Assassin's Creed game. A really cool feature there, something that's going to be really unique and make Assassin's Creed Mirage really stand out. Is going to be maybe the only or the first game where we do have the foundation for the, well, the Alamu outside of the city, which is of course the home to the assassins like we just mentioned. Something really cool, and I do think that's a great part of the game and could play a pretty big part in the story, or I'm certain it will, to be honest. And when it comes to the gameplay, we do know it's going back to its classic style. The Assassin's Creed Mirage gameplay is set to take the series back to where it began: social stealth, fast parkour, and agile assassinations. Social stealth is a great feature, and especially within Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it has not worked out well. It didn't work well, and it was never really needed. It just felt like social stealth just didn't play a big part, or it felt like it needed to play a bigger part, but it just didn't, and it didn't work well when it was somewhat implemented. Social stealth is basically where you blend in with the crowd and try to stay hidden with the people around you to avoid, of course, being caught out and attacked. So yeah, hopefully that'll play a much bigger part, as Ubisoft have promised with Assassin's Creed Mirage. Something really cool, and hopefully, yeah, that's going to help improve things a lot. There's also going to be fast parkour, going back to the days of Assassin's Creed Unity, a game with fantastic parkour mechanics, and we're going back to those days where parkour is going to play a massive part. Within the recent games, you're mainly just on a horse exploring the massive open world, and that's going to change. We're going to be going from building to building, from rooftop to rooftop, with the parkour system. And it's also going to be agile assassinations, meaning that you're going to be assassinating people quickly and getting back into hidden areas, since, of course, stealth is going to play a massive part, which we'll get onto soon. But Ubisoft has said that there's a bit of every Assassin's Creed game in Mirage, and players can look forward to going back to the roots of the series, while experiencing a modern take on gameplay and iconic features of the early games. This narrow of focus, particularly when compared to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, will be complemented by a narrative-driven approach to progression and a more contained map like we mentioned, which you'll have to explore. So yeah, like we mentioned, we'll check the Assassin's Creed stealth out now. So Ubisoft has said that the Assassin's Creed Mirage has a bigger focus on stealth than in the most recent games, like we did say, where basically, you know, In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Odyssey and Origins, stealth really wasn't seen that much at all, and when it was implemented pretty poorly. Whereas in this game, it's going to change a lot. Identifying, hunting and eliminating a target and then vanishing will be a big part of this game, and missions are going to, solely involve stealth, and chances are you're going to have to use stealth within this game. Within previous games, or at least the last 3, you could get away without using it. You could just go in, just brawling in, and you could easily just take out enemies without being hidden, and that's an easy way to complete missions within the recent games. But within this game, you don't want to be caught, and if you are caught, then it's not going to end well for you within some missions. You're going to make sure that you do stay hidden, since after all, that's how a true assassin should be. That's what we want to see, and that's what we're going to see with Assassin's Creed Mirage. Stealth is going to be great. They're going to be reworking the detection system to allow for more feedback for the players, so they know if they're about to be caught or not. And this is all, designed for the city at hand. For Baghdad, for example, it'll be easy to stay hidden through rooftops, etc, etc, to better allow for stealthy approaches to missions. And they'll also be introducing new tools to aid with stealth, such as detection mines, which can release a cloud of smoke when triggered, and of course a blow dart, which we've seen in previous games such as Brotherhood, and it will be making a return with Mirage. Now, a detection system could work pretty well, or well, a detection mine could work pretty well, since in Assassin's Creed Mirage, let's say you're about to be caught, and let's say people have seen you and you need to get out of an area quickly and get hidden again. Of course, people are going to know you've been there and you're probably still there, but they're not going to know where you are if you use a detection mine, which will release smoke and basically will poison the enemies around there, and they're going to be temporarily blinded and won't know what's going on. An easy way to escape an area, and this could play a massive part in the game. Something pretty cool that we are going to be utilizing tools within the game. So now let's focus on parkour. Parkour is set to play a huge role in Assassin's Creed Mirage, just as it did in the first 2 games of the series, which worked really well. Traversing up buildings and across rooftops in the densely layered city of Baghdad will be your primary form of spatial navigation, and it's an aspect that Ubisoft promises will feel better than ever before. We have sped up the pace of the parkour so that players feel agile and empowered when traversing the city, which has been said by Ubisoft themselves. Additionally, Ubisoft is bringing back many of the beloved animations and iconic moves from past games, like the corner swinging, and introducing new parkour moves like the pole vaults to help Basim clear large obstacles. And as you can see, Basim, that's what we'll get onto later. But either way, yeah, the game will feature classic parkour systems. Assassin's Creed Unity has some amazing parkour, and within Assassin's Creed Mirage, we'll be getting some amazing parkour once again. The game will hopefully work very well with it, and overall parkour is going to be improved. And basically, I think it's a perfect time to get onto how Origins, Odyssey and Valhalla have taken a turn. We've seen with the beginning of Origins, then with Odyssey and Valhalla, that the game has shifted to an RPG focused style, which is not what the fans really wanted. The fans liked the previous games where it was an open world game, but it was a dense area with lots going on, but it wasn't an RPG game, and we will be going back to that type of game. It's not going to be a proper RPG like with Valhalla, since it just doesn't work well and it doesn't suit the Assassin's Creed style. Of course, some people like it and it brought new players in, but it also took the old players out. People didn't like it very much, but Mirage is going back to the classic games that we got before. A dense area, and there's going to be lots of parkour focusing on the classic mechanics, stealth, parkour and assassinations, which we'll talk about now. Assassin's Creed Mirage will pull a lot more focus onto assassinating targets. The main assassination events will take place in what Ubisoft is calling black box missions. These will be contained within Baghdad's districts, and you'll have the freedom to chart your own path to the target by blending in with a crowd and following their path or tracking them from rooftop positions. For example, Mirage will introduce all new assassination animations, new upgradable assassin tools and the capacity to set traps within the environment. Mirage will also introduce a new feature that sounds similar to the mark and execute mechanic introduced in the Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Conviction, which will allow Basim to perform multiple stealth kills at once. So finally, we're going to look at the protagonist for Assassin's Creed Mirage, which I think is going to play a great part, and this is Basim. Funnily enough, Basim was actually within Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and Mirage will follow the character 20 years prior to the events of Valhalla and track his ascent from street thief to apprentice to master assassin. AC Mirage narrative director Sarah says that Mirage follows the transformation of a defiant young man into a refined master assassin with conflicted destiny. As part of this journey, we'll also get more insight into the Hidden Ones and the evolution of the ancient organization that was founded by Aya and Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins. And there you go, those are the best things with Assassin's Creed Mirage. I really do think this game could work really well, going back to the classic roots of Assassin's Creed, which I think is really the best thing, going back to the old traditional ways of the series, and that that does just about wrap up things here. So if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any content just like this. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.